Okay, and we are back to, we are now closing. And each candidate will have 2 minutes for closing remarks, and we are back to Mr. Carlson.
Okay, well, I came here to talk about private sector job creation. I think this is the issue in the 2000 elections generally. And yet I'm hearing from all the candidates that they cannot create private sector jobs. I have a different view, and I also want to clarify my views that were, I think, distorted in this debate that is going to air on KSTP. I recognize the role of monetary policy and fiscal policy to create a better environment for small businesses here in Minnesota to create jobs. But I don't think we can rely on those. What I would focus on is one of the things I can focus on, in addition to some good ideas that have been raised by Tom Horner, the Independence Party candidate for governor, who I think is brilliant and who can do a great job. And there's one thing I want to recommend here today is put Tom Horner in there and let him do some real consensus building and stop the gridlock and create some certainty. And that's what I think we need to do in Washington too. Now it's obvious there's going to be a shift. There's going to be a new government coming in. And the question that before us today is, what do we want to do with that new government? And what we want to do is create more certainty, not less certainty. We don't want wild gyrations from left to right. So we need the same kind of moderate, thoughtful approach that we're seeing at the state government level. So I'm aware that monetary policy has a very important, we talk about fiscal policy as far as tax policy, but monetary, it needs to be reserved basically to stop deflation, or if the inflation starts to come down, to maintain stability. What we need to do, working on the ground, I think, is to close the gap between the hirings that are occurring and the much greater level of jobs that are being created. Businesses are creating jobs they can't fill. So what I was saying to Teresa the other day is we've got to focus on closing that gap, and we can start to drive job growth and economic growth here at the ground level. I think each one of you know that you have some things you could hire people for, but you always think, can I afford it? Will I have time? Is this the time to do it?
Thank you, Ms. Collette.
Well, first I'd like to thank the White Bear Chamber of Commerce for hosting this. I think it's a wonderful opportunity to be in front of people that are driving progress in this state, and I'm very, very grateful for the efforts that you made to do that. I'm also grateful for Congresswoman McCollum to appear in this forum, because it is unusual for her to accept the opportunity to present her views in a situation where other people have different views and have the opportunity to debate and to present those contrasts so that the voters can make the decision. And Steve Carlson has, of course, been generous in his time accepting the KSTP debate that will air in October, as well as this debate and a couple of others. So I'm grateful to the other candidates for the participation. The simple fact is that what you've seen today is a fundamental philosophical difference. I believe, like the National Chamber of Commerce, that this country is built on innovation, incentivizing private individual labor, and personal responsibility. Representative McCollum referred to the government controlling our air and our water and our land. She has an expansive idea about what the federal government can and should do. We differ strongly on that. Our founding fathers believed in a limited government that allowed liberty at the individual level. I believe, like John Locke, that personal property is both a legal and a moral right. And when individuals combine their labor with property, they should receive the benefits of that labor. Now that's how we're going to get jobs back on track in this state and in this country. Again, the unemployment rate at the time that Representative McCollum ran in 2000 was 4%. It has stubbornly stuck around 9.6%. She expressed fear that it would go to 16%, but economists tell us that that's actually the rate that we are experiencing now, with underemployed, those who are so discouraged they're not looking for jobs anymore, and those who are listed as actively unemployed. The simple fact is our country's in crisis, and what we need to do is we need to cut back, not expand government programs, not impose new personal and individual mandates on business. I intend to do that when I get to Congress, and I'd love to have your support.
Thank you. Representative McCollum.
Well, thank you all for getting up early. Thank you so much, and I want to thank the White Bear Chamber of Commerce for putting this together. I like to be in situations where the questions come from you, and so we've had a very vibrant discussion. It's been an honor to serve the families in the 4th District in Congress, because the 4th District is my home. I grew up in South St. Paul, working class family. Had the great privilege of raising my children in North St. Paul, where for 2 generations in my family, right here in the 4th District, businesses, seniors, and parents came together to invest in education to give me an opportunity. And I thank them for doing that, and that's my commitment to do that for the future of this country. Prior to the State House, I haven't always been in government. I served in the State House, and I was part-time on the City Council in North St. Paul. So I know how important it is for collaboration, for the ideas to come from the bottom and up to the top, and then come together to find a good solution. I was in retail sales for 25 years. I can tell, just sometimes walking through a store, when times are tough and when merchandise isn't moving and people aren't buying. This election is about what do we do for our future to make sure it remains rosy and optimistic. 2 years ago, this country was falling into a Great Depression. Now we're at the start of 4 quarters in a success where we can say we are out of a recession. So I want to go back and work with local businesses and work with nonprofits and work with the education system around here to make sure that we are prepared for the jobs for the future that will be built here in the United States. We need to make it in America, and we can do that. That is our future, to come together for the common good to do that. So we know that the times are tough. I don't have to tell you that. Businesses know it that I've been meeting with, families that call our office for help, but I see a great future for us ahead. And I would like to be part of that future by serving again in Congress. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you. Once again, thank you.